Hello, friends. I'm Elizabeth Urbanowitz with Foundation Worldview, and I'm so happy that you've joined me for another month of the Foundation Worldview Book Club. Now, summer is approaching. I know many of you, your kids are already out of school or you're already done with homeschool. So, the book that I have to recommend for adults this month is a little bit different than our typical genre. This month, I'm actually recommending a fiction title called Masters and Slayers by Brian Davis. And some of you have already seen the webinar that we did several months ago with Brian Davis. And this is the first book in a trilogy called The Tales of Starlight. And I thought it would be fun to recommend a fiction title because it's summer. And I know some of you will be heading out on vacation or may have a little bit of pool time. And even though you'll be busy with kids, you may have a little bit of time for reading. And I know as an adult, I always struggle to find fiction that is both enjoyable and honoring to God. And this book is definitely both of those things. So, highly recommend Masters and Slayers by Brian Davis. The second title that I have to recommend is Who Am I and Why Do I Matter by Chris Morphew. And this is for 8 to 12-year-olds. This is a book that just looks at different questions on identity and what it means to be human and where our true identity is grounded. And what better time than summer to take a step back and work with our kids on understanding who they are and why they matter. And I highly recommend that you read this book alongside your 8 to 12-year-olds and then use the discussion questions that we have provided. The final title that I have to recommend is for 4 to 7-year-olds, and that is the book Arlo and the Great Big CoverUp by Betsy Childs Howard. And I love this book because it's a book that's really relatable to most younger kids. It's about a little boy that decides to disobey his mom, and he draws a smiley face on his wall, and he soon starts to feel guilty and he tries to cover it up, but he learns that there's no covering up of mistakes, that the only way to move forward with a mistake is to confess what we have done and to ask for forgiveness. And then the author does a great job of tying this in with our need for a savior, our need for God's grace. So I'm so excited for everyone to begin summer break and to dive into these books.